My last suggestion for the Lakers is they absolutely have to get Kyle Kuzma more involved. He needs more minutes. He needs more touches. He might need to start ahead of KCP.
What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. And today we're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, the Lakers. We're going to talk about what we know about the team and what we suggest they do for the next season if they want to do a two-peat. Let's get into it.
All right. So everybody knows the Lakers won the championship last year. But what's interesting is they traded away more than half of the squad.
Gone.
I just don't know how they expect to run it back with like 8 new faces.
And I'm talking about traded away valuable pieces of their organization, of their roster that contributed greatly to the success of the team last season. And even more so, contributed greatly to them receiving the finals championship. So, and who they have on their roster now? I mean, I don't know. I'm quite sure they're great. We'll talk about who they acquired, and that's fine. But it's clear that the Lakers did not want to run it back with the same team. Yeah. And some of that may be because financially they couldn't.
Yeah, a lot of the money is tied up right now. But I think it's important for us to just kind of run down exactly who they lost and the productivity that they are no longer going to have.
You're not going to have it.
Okay, so Rondo, we know he played a key piece. I mean, he was the second floor general. I mean, he without, LeBron on the court, Rondo was able to pick up the slack very easily. And so now I'm wondering if Schroeder and Caruso can do it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see. Now, regular season, Rondo, he was okay. It was playoff Rondo, right? That got people so involved in who he was again that made him receive his recent payday. So Dennis and Caruso, if they can have the same presence on the floor with the Lakers is different than Oklahoma City, Dennis, just so you know. Mm-hmm. But if he can do the same, I'm hoping he can, because I root for Dennis and I hope he really does well. But it's about being able to maintain the same floor general status that Rondo was able to maintain when LeBron stepped off the floor. So we'll see if it happens.
Okay. And then Dwight Howard. I mean, he only averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds, but I'm telling you, the way that he altered shots at the rim, just his physical presence down low, I'm not sure Marc Gasol or Montrez can give you that.
I don't see it. That Dwight Howard was like a brick wall. I'll keep saying it. His stature on the floor is, you can't pass it. It is amazing. He is so agile, so strong. And what he does when he is guarding the rim is amazing. And although Marc Gasol is no longer in his prime, and Harrell Montrez, hey, you know what? He has a future to build from. I just don't see that presence again at all on the Lakers for this upcoming season because they are missing Dwight Howard. I don't.
Yep. And then they let Danny Green. Well, they actually traded Danny Green. Now, Danny, he's a streaky shooter. Now, you know what? Everybody gives Danny a bad rap, including you, because he shot horribly in the playoffs. However, once he's on, and we saw that in Toronto. I mean, his 3-ball was I thought it was pretty consistent. But now you let Danny walk, and now you have Wesley Matthews and Alfonso McKinney to potentially fill that gap.
Who? I mean, I don't know, disrespect. And I hope that they can. Yes, Danny, you sealed your trade contract the moment you missed that shot in Game 5. I'm telling you right now, if the Lakers thought they was going to keep you, when you missed that shot and made them play at Game 6, it was over for your career with the Lakers. I can promise. Yes. And it had been streaky anyway because it just wasn't hitting in the bubble. It just wasn't. So hopefully now that he's with his new team, everything will come back for him, but I wish him well, safe flight. But KCP is not going to be able to hold it down by himself. He's not going to be able to hold it down by himself.
No,
and I'm hoping that the Wesley and Alfonso can make it happen. I just don't know enough about them, right? So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. And then JaVale, another defensive presence. You didn't get much from JaVale McGee, but he was another twin tower. You know, him and Dwight, 7 foot essentially. I mean, you know, pretty good defensive presence. And then you had a bunch of other people like Jared Dudley, you know, Deion Waiters, Quinn Cook, J.R. Smith, but Avery Bradley played a prominent role.
I wonder why Avery Bradley didn't want to stay.
I don't know. Probably the same reason why he didn't want to play with the team in the bubble mixed with, I don't know. See, I think the fact that the Lakers were able to win a championship without Avery, all of a sudden he became disposable. Now absolutely. It's like, okay, they can win without me. They'll be all right. Let me go on over here to the Miami Heat, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can see that. How do you come back? Come back when they won, right? So had the Lakers not have won the finals, then maybe him coming back wouldn't seem so bad because then he can say, they kind of needed me.
Right.
But to come back after a win and you weren't injured and you had your reasons why you did not have to go to the bubble. But it does seem weird. So him leaving, I just wonder what was it? Like, I want to know the backstory.
Yeah.
I hope it never comes out because it's none of our business anyway. But if it does come out, I will be reading that article. So if there's anybody out there that knows where I can find the information on why Avery Bradley really left, drop down in the comments and give me the link.
I mean, I would love to know too, to be honest with you. Yeah. So, you know, what else is interesting is Anthony Davis has not signed his extension yet at the time of this recording. And what is he waiting on?
It's clear to me that whatever they're offering Anthony Davis is not enough. He wants more money, his terms are not enough. Maybe the length of his contract is not what he's looking for, or perhaps it's too long. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense why he would not. I don't see him leaving the Lakers, number one. And I don't see him wanting to settle, but the Lakers don't have any money. I mean, they traded away all their pieces.
No, AD is scheduled to make $32 million. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Not at all. No.
What does he want? Is he looking at what other players are getting, averaging $40 million a year? I mean, you just won a championship. You get to play with LeBron. He makes your life easier on the court. I don't know what you're doing. But what I'm saying is, look, Anthony Davis needs to go ahead and sign a 3 or 4 year deal. And I think maybe his reservations are whether or not LeBron can be healthy and stay around another 2 or 3 years. Because I don't think he wants to be there and be the focal point all by himself. Because again, like I've said early on our channel, AD is not a leader. He's a great 2-punch, but he is not the main guy. And I saw that in New Orleans.
All right. So then it is safe to say that without LeBron, AD is not the man.
Without AD, LeBron ain't the man either.
Well,
you know, they go well together, but one without the other.
You're right. Which leads me to believe that what if AD doesn't sign with the Lakers? Who was he going to sign for? Because if he signed with any other team, they're going to want him to be the number one. Yeah. If they're willing to pay him what he believes he's worth, right? So if that's the case, I don't see him going anywhere else to be the number one option.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he wants it. He wants number one option money, but I don't think he wants the responsibility.
Let me tell you, I'm quite sure teams are being very cautious about the money they dish out because they do not want another. What's that guy's name that's on the Lakers right now? They still got to pay.
Ooh, Luau Dang. Robbing the bank, Luau. Hey, good for him.
Hey, and not only do they have to pay him $5 million, he retired with the Bulls. So I can only imagine. And there's so many other cases like that in the league where teams are like, if you can't be number one and you want me to pay you number two, you want me to pay you number one salary with a number two option play. I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
I.e. Paul George. I don't know if teams want to do that. So AD, you may just have to settle. I mean, I hope you don't have to. I don't know what the financials look like for the Los Angeles Lakers, but excuse me, but training camp starts on the 1st of December. I'm going to need for you to sign the contract. Is there any other team shopping for him? Do they want him?
Nobody can pay him. He doesn't want to be on a team that's not going anywhere. How do you do that after winning the championship and after playing for the Lakers in his prime? That would be a huge mistake to just chase the dollar at this point.
Right.
I think.
Right.
You know?
So I also heard that he wants to align his contract with LeBron's. So when LeBron retires, you're going to retire too. I'm going to need for you to be your own man. AD.
See?
And I don't know what you want to do, because if you are able to now lead the Lakers franchise, why wouldn't you want that?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't want it.
It's going to be a little bitty discount. It's a little bitty. Look at me talking about his little bitty discount. Hey, I don't know, $5 from $10 on my side, but your millions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know. If they do not re-sign Anthony Davis, the Lakers can forget about it. Can I just tell you? It's done. It's done. They've won their last finals championship. It's over. With this roster?
Well, Giannis has not signed his deal with Milwaukee either.
I thought he did.
I don't believe so. Milwaukee hasn't made enough moves. I know this is a Laker video, but there could be something going on there. Does Giannis want to come here? Does he want to go to Miami? Does Anthony want to leave? Or
I need it. Come on. Oh, now all of a sudden people are quiet. Where the talkers at? Y'all better come and start talking so we can get some inside scoop.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I wish you well for AD, but I just believe that AD right now, if he did not sign with the Lakers with this roster, I don't know if it will be enough. Without them adding another piece. I'm just saying, alone, without AD.
It's actually not enough for them to repeat, because I was thinking about this morning prior to us recording. I'm like, well, who in the West could give the Lakers fits? I still think Golden State, even without Clay, can give the Lakers fits. I think the Clippers can with their roster. And I also believe Phoenix might cause some trouble for the Lakers.
For Phoenix, yeah. Yeah. And let's not forget about the Pelicans. They may still be able to give some fits. Yeah. I don't know what to say about the Lakers roster right now. I don't know.
Okay,
so who did they acquire? So let's talk about who they acquired.
Okay. So the biggest signing, I think, was the Montrezl Harrell acquisition. I still can't believe he's putting on a purple and gold. It hasn't set in yet. Once I see him play a full game, then maybe, but I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know how he's going to fit in with LeBron and those guys. LeBron's all about camaraderie and everybody, hey, come follow me. Is Montrez into that? Is he his own man? I don't know. Maybe
that's what he needs. I mean, he's with Clutch, so I'm quite sure he'll be okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see, but I won't be able to know until they play their first game against the Clippers, because that's going to be their first preseason game together. Hilarious.
Yeah. And so they also acquired Marc Gasol, who's to me, on the tail end of his career. He's not a fair exchange for Dwight Howard. He's just not a fair exchange. I'm sorry. He ain't going to get nothing from Mark. He's stuck to the ground. He can't move. He can't jump. I'm not impressed with that signing. And then you know what else? I read an article where when he left Toronto, he said that he wasn't sure that he could be the player that they needed. Well, why are you here with the Lakers? Do you know this is a larger market and the expectations are through the roof? What are you doing here?
Even more so with this upcoming season, because the Lakers just won the NBA championship. What are we talking about?
Yeah, that threw me for a loop. I'm like, what? I would never say that if I'm going to a new team.
So the Lakers were willing to pay Marc Gasol, but couldn't find the money to pay Dwight Howard. Something about it doesn't seem right. You were waiting on from Dwight Howard. You guys were waiting on the executives to approve his salary that you guys wanted to offer him.
Yeah,
you're gonna give up agility And Dwight Howard for Marc Gasol. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then they also picked up Wesley Matthews. He's more of a defender in my mind. He can kind of play the role of an Avery Bradley. You're not going to get a lot of, offensive presence. He averaged 7 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist in Milwaukee. He can hit the 3 ball. He's decent. He's a decent defender. Him and Dennis both. I think they're pretty solid on the ball. And then Alfonso McKinney.
Yeah. All right. So I guess if you have those pieces now on your roster, you can still compete at a high level. So, okay. We'll see how it all plays out. I mean, again, not only did the Lakers create a whole new roster, but other teams did as well. So everybody will be adjusting. So we'll see how the Lakers specifically play together with this new team and how the pieces fit in. It is unfortunate, though, that we have to say, okay, so the Lakers trade 1 for 1. They did that because they didn't have any money to pay the other person that I believe they really wanted to keep. That's what I believe. And that's not what Pelinka will say in any of the prints that I've seen. He says that, they didn't want to be complacent. So you couldn't play the players that helped you win the championship. And now all of a sudden you're just going to revamp your whole team. Holistically, it just doesn't make sense to me. Some pieces here and there, Danny got to go. I get it. But other players that were key pieces to your championship are gone. Weird to me. Thank God they kept KCP, so I'm glad they kept him. And Alex Caruso, I'm glad they're still on the roster. Oh, and let's not forget about Markieff Morris. Hey.
My last suggestion for the Lakers is they absolutely have to get Kyle Kuzma more involved. He needs more minutes. He needs more touches. He might need to start ahead of KCP. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's time to showcase Kyle Kuzma.
Showcase Kyle Kuzma or trade him. Get him out of the Lakers organization. He is losing critical prime time of his skills. His skill set is being lost and buried with the Lakers as we see it right now. So I hope they figure out another way to use him, because his counterparts in his same draft class, balling and paid. I just don't understand why he's not one of them. And I get it. Oh, he doesn't show up. You can't show up if you're not playing consistent. It's almost like the same argument that LeVar Ball had on his son Lonzo. You can't keep putting him in and out of a game and expecting him to now have a certain flourish. Some players are great off the bench, great off the ball. Maybe he's not one of those players. So if he doesn't fit what Kuzma doesn't fit what the Lakers have right now, trade him. Put him on a team where he can be a valuable asset and he can get just as much money as some of his other counterparts that were drafted the same year he was drafted.
Oh, yeah. I know. Unbelievable. So, they got to get Kuzma involved. I think in terms of the center position, they really need to play Trez over Marc Gasol. At least you're going to get some agility. You're going to get a double-double out of Trez. When you see Marc Gasol, it's not his brother Powell. He's not as agile as Powell. He's not going to give you a double-double. He's going to give you about 5 points and maybe 4 rebounds.
How many blocks? Can I get at least 6?
Maybe 1, but he can't jump. He's stuck on the ground. It's terrible. Well, they need to work on some chemistry. They got a bunch of new faces. Everybody needs to come on over for Taco Tuesday. They need to bond as a unit.
Okay.
They also, I think they need to allow Schroeder to play point guard with the second unit. Quite often to gain some familiarity, because LeBron's going to be running the point for the first squad, and Schroeder should be the 2 guard. But I think, maybe they might want to move him to the second squad to play with, Kuzma and those guys and Trez, possibly. And then I think they also need to put a spotlight on LeBron's failure to get back on defense.
You really don't like that?
Oh, it drives me nuts, because he gets on the players for not getting back or for, defensive mistakes. But he's sitting up there in the backcourt when the play is way down. It burns me up.
Oh, it's hilarious when they, because, we watching from home, right? So when they, when the camera's panning and then you only see 4 Lakers, you're like, who missing?
Yeah, and he averaged about 4 turnovers. So you're not even getting back on defense. That's potentially 8 to 12 points that you're basically giving up. You're playing 4 on 5.
Right.
It's not, no.
Why do you think he still needs to play the point this upcoming season?
I don't think he does, but he's going to make sure that he does.
Why? What do you think?
Because he's all about the control. You know, he wants to be the one setting up the offense. He wants to be the one controlling the ball, controlling everything, telling people where they need to go. It's kind of difficult to do that as a forward.
Got it. Okay.
You know,
and he's earned the right. So okay.
Yeah, and it worked for them last season. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that wraps up this episode of what we know and suggest for the Lakers entering the brand new season. I cannot wait to see how all of their new pieces are going to fit in to a championship team, allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. No, that's facts.
Exactly. So, I mean, hey, I don't know. It remains to be seen. I don't want to put anything past, the defending champs.
No, nothing at all.
You know, so you guys, if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and as well as engage us in the comments and let us know, like, what do you see for the Lakers? Are there any teams in the West or the East that could match up well against them throughout the next season? And got any parting words, Evay?
Good luck. I'll see you when the season starts.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys on the next one. But until then, peace y'all.